She said "good night" to me, but "hello" to him at midnight, then lied with the cruelest excuse I've ever heard. One lie was enough to turn my silence into screams, my safety into shattering pain. I used to think of myself as invisible. Not in the superhero sense, just in the way I could walk through crowded hallways and barely leave a mark. I liked it that way, quiet, unnoticed, safe. People around me in school were always rushing into crushes, relationships, breakups, messy drama. I watched it all from the sidelines, never tempted. My rule was simple: don't get close, don't get hurt. When I entered university, that rule solidified into a vow. Sitting on my dorm bed the first night, I whispered to myself, I won't fall for anyone. No girlfriends. No heartbreak. No distractions. It was my shield, my way of surviving in a world that constantly tried to pull people into chaos. Of course, that was before Emily. Dude, are you even listening? Ethan's voice snapped me out of my thoughts one morning in the cafeteria. I looked up from my untouched coffee. Yeah, what? Ryan smirked across the table. He's probably daydreaming about formulas again. You know, the human calculator. Daniel laughed. Or maybe he's finally fallen for someone and doesn't want to admit it. I shook my head quickly. No. Absolutely not. I told you guys, I'm not interested. Sure, Ethan said, leaning back with a grin. You've been saying that since high school. One of these days, it's going to bite you. It won't, I insisted. I made a promise to myself. Ryan raised an eyebrow. A promise? Like some kind of vow of celibacy? Not like that, I muttered, trying to hide my discomfort. I just don't want complications. Daniel chuckled. Famous last words, man. Trust me, university has a way of shaking promises. I didn't argue further. They wouldn't understand. For me, it wasn't about being above romance, it was about fear. Fear of opening up, only to be crushed. Fear of depending on someone, only to be abandoned. I'd seen it happen too many times. But then, that afternoon in class, Emily sat down beside me. Is this seat taken? Her voice was soft, polite. I glanced up and shook my head. No, it's free. She smiled as she slid into the chair. Her hair fell over one shoulder, and she tucked it back casually. She wasn't the kind of person who made the room stop, but something about her warmth drew attention anyway. I'm Emily, she said, extending her hand. I hesitated a moment before shaking it. I'm just me. She laughed lightly. Just me? Interesting name. My ears burned. I mean, I'm. Relax, she said, still smiling. I'm kidding. What's your actual name? I told her, stumbling a little, and she nodded. Nice to meet you. You seem quiet. I gave a small shrug. I guess. Quiet people usually notice more, she said thoughtfully. Then she pulled out her notebook and started writing as if we'd known each other for ages. I tried to focus on the lecture, but my mind kept drifting. She's just another student. Nothing special. Don't get carried away. Yet when the professor asked a question and Emily leaned toward me whispering, "Do you know the answer?" my heart thudded harder than it should have. Over the next few weeks, Emily and I kept ending up near each other. Sometimes by chance, sometimes, if I was honest, because I found myself sitting where I thought she might. One day after class, she caught up with me. Hey, can you help me with the assignment? I'm completely lost. I shifted nervously. I guess. If you want. Her eyes brightened. Great. Library later? We met that evening, and what was supposed to be a 1-hour study session stretched into 3. So you're actually good at this, she said as I explained a tricky formula. I try. No, you're really good, she insisted. You explain things in a way that makes sense. Better than the professor. I glanced at her, unsure how to respond. Compliments always made me uncomfortable. She tilted her head. Why do you look like I just insulted you? I don't get compliments often. Well, get used to it, she said firmly. Because I think you're smarter than you give yourself credit for. Something shifted inside me that night. It wasn't dramatic, like lightning or fireworks, it was subtle, like a crack forming in a wall I'd built for years. Of course, my friends noticed. So, Daniel smirked one Saturday. Emily, huh? I nearly dropped my fork. What? Don't play dumb, Ryan said. We've seen you. Library sessions. Sitting together in class. Walking out at the same time. You're glowing, man. I am not. Ethan leaned in. You like her? I don't, I said quickly. Too quickly. They all laughed. Daniel clapped me on the shoulder. It's okay, man. Just admit it. You're allowed to like someone. I promised myself I wouldn't, I said, my tone sharper than intended. The laughter faded. Ethan frowned. Promised yourself? Why? Because, I hesitated, then muttered, because I don't want to get hurt. Ryan's expression softened. Hey, not everyone breaks your heart, you know. I looked away. You don't know that. They didn't push further, but the conversation stuck with me. That night, lying in bed, I replayed Emily's smile in my head and hated myself for how much it mattered. The more time I spent with her, the harder it became to keep distance. One afternoon while studying, she suddenly said, "You're different from most people here." I blinked. Different how? You listen, she replied. Most people just wait for their turn to talk. You actually care. I shifted in my seat, unsure how to handle the warmth in her tone. I just don't know what else to do. She laughed softly. You're honest. That's rare. Her words lingered in the air between us. I tried to focus on the equations on the page, but all I could think about was how close she was, how easily she smiled at me, how much safer the world felt when she was near. But the real breaking point came one rainy evening. We left the library together, and she pulled her jacket tighter around herself. Ugh, I hate this weather. Without thinking, I offered my umbrella. Here. She looked at me, surprised. What about you? I don't mind the rain, I said. She smiled, slipping under the umbrella. You're too kind. We walked side by side, water splashing around our shoes. The silence was comfortable, almost too comfortable. My chest tightened with words I wanted to say but couldn't. Finally, she spoke. You know. I'm glad I sat next to you that first day. I swallowed hard. Me too. She glanced at me, her eyes curious. You're blushing. I'm not. You are. She laughed, and the sound warmed me more than the umbrella ever could. That night in my dorm, I stared at the ceiling, wet hair dripping onto my pillow. My vow echoed in my head, no relationships. No heartbreak. But Emily's laughter echoed louder. For the first time in years, my promise felt less like protection and more like a prison. Hey, wait up. Emily's voice rang out behind me as I crossed the campus courtyard. I stopped, turning just in time to see her hurrying over, her bag bouncing against her side. You walk fast, she said, catching her breath. I wasn't trying to, I replied, awkwardly shifting my backpack strap. Good. Because I'd hate to think you're running away from me. Her playful grin made my chest tighten. I laughed nervously. No. I wouldn't. From that morning on, it felt like Emily and I were stuck in each other's orbit. She asked me to walk her to the hostel, and I found myself waiting outside almost every evening. If she needed to cross the busy road near campus, I instinctively offered my hand to guide her. If she looked tired, I carried her books. And she never protested. In fact, she always teased me about it. You know, you're like my personal bodyguard, she said once as we crossed the street. I'm just making sure you don't get hit by a car, I muttered. Well, if I do, at least you'd dive in front of me, right? I blushed. Maybe. She laughed, and somehow that small sound felt like a victory. But the more inseparable we became, the more nervous I grew. My friends, of course, didn't make it any easier. So, lover boy, Ryan said one afternoon in the cafeteria. When's the big confession? There is no big confession, I muttered. Ethan leaned across the table. Come on. Everyone can see it. You two are basically glued together. Daniel grinned. Yeah, you even carry her books. Next thing you know, you'll be writing her poetry. I buried my face in my hands. You guys are impossible. Ryan smirked. Admit it. You like her. The words caught in my throat. I do. But. No buts, Ethan said firmly. Tell her. You're already halfway there. Their confidence terrified me. But deep down, I knew they were right. Then came the Valentine's concert. The university had been buzzing about it for weeks, music, decorations, laughter filling the air. Emily dragged me along, insisting we couldn't miss it. I don't even like concerts, I said as we walked in. You don't have to, she replied. You just have to like being with me. That sentence alone made my knees weak. Inside the hall, strings of red and white lights glowed. Couples sat close, holding hands, whispering. The music was loud, but all I could hear was my heart pounding. Emily nudged me. Relax. It's not that bad. Easy for you to say. Why are you so tense? I hesitated, gripping the seat edge. Because, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Her eyes softened, but before she could respond, her friends appeared. Emily. Chloe squealed, dragging Lily behind her. Emily smiled. Oh, hey, guys. They exchanged greetings, but their attention flicked to me. So you're the famous study buddy, Chloe said with a smirk. Yeah, Lily added, looking me over. The one she keeps talking about. Emily blushed. I don't keep talking about him. Chloe laughed. Sure you don't. I shifted uncomfortably. Nice to meet you. Likewise, Lily said, though her tone carried mild curiosity more than warmth. Emily grabbed my arm and tugged me aside. Ignore them. They like to tease. My heart raced at her touch, and suddenly I knew, I couldn't wait any longer. As the concert reached its halfway point, the singer on stage announced a segment for couples. Laughter filled the hall, cheers echoing. Emily leaned toward me. This is sweet, she whispered. Emily, I said, my voice trembling. Yes? I stood up suddenly. Come with me. Her eyes widened. Where? Just, outside. Please. She hesitated, then nodded, following me out into the cool night air. The courtyard was quiet, lit only by strings of dim lights. My palms were sweaty, my throat dry. She looked at me curiously. What's going on? I took a deep breath. I made a promise to myself when I came here. I swore I'd never fall in love, never risk heartbreak. But then I met you. Her lips parted slightly, but she stayed silent. You make me laugh when I don't want to. You make me feel seen when I'd rather hide. Every time I walk you home, every time we study together, I can't stop thinking about you. Her eyes glistened in the faint light. I swallowed hard. Emily. I love you. For a moment, silence stretched between us. My heart hammered so loud I thought it might burst. Then she whispered, you idiot. My stomach dropped. What? She stepped closer, smiling through her tears. You think I didn't know? You think I haven't been waiting for you to say it? I blinked, stunned. You have? Of course, she said softly. Because I love you too. I let out a shaky laugh of relief. Really? Really? She laughed with me, then added, took you long enough. I exhaled, tension melting from my shoulders. So, does this mean, we're together? She grinned. Yes. We're together. When we returned inside, Chloe and Lily noticed immediately. Finally. Chloe exclaimed. About time. Lily smirked. We thought you'd never confess. Emily rolled her eyes. You two are unbelievable. But she squeezed my hand under the table, and I couldn't stop smiling. The next day, I told my friends. You what? Daniel nearly shouted. You confessed? Ethan asked, grinning. And she said yes? Ryan added. I nodded, trying not to look too pleased. Daniel clapped me on the back. Look at you, breaking your own rules. I hesitated, then smiled. I guess some rules are meant to be broken. Ethan smirked. So when's the wedding? Shut up, I muttered, but I was laughing with them. Ryan leaned in. Seriously, though. You look happier than I've ever seen you. And I was. More than I'd ever thought possible. That night, I walked Emily back to her hostel. The air was crisp, the path quiet. You know, I said softly, I used to think promises were just walls to keep people out. But now. Now what? She asked gently. Now I want to make a new promise. To you. She tilted her head. And what promise is that? I looked at her, my heart steady for once. That I'll never leave you. That this time, it's forever. Her hand tightened around mine, her smile radiant. Then I promised too. And under the quiet night sky, I believed it. I believed in us. Morning, Emily said, sliding into the passenger seat of my old car. I grinned. You're actually on time. She smirked. Miracles happen. Or maybe I've finally trained you, I teased. You wish. She buckled her seatbelt, then glanced at me. So, where are we eating today? Cafeteria again? She shook her head. No. Let's try the little bakery near the gate. I've been craving their croissants. Fine, I said, pulling out of the hostel driveway. But you're paying this time. She gasped. Excuse me? You invited me. And you demanded croissants. That makes it your treat. She laughed, the sound filling the car like sunlight. Our days settled into a rhythm. Morning pickups, lunch breaks together, study sessions in the library, and phone calls that stretched past midnight. Are you even awake? Emily whispered once over the phone. Barely, I muttered. But if you hang up, I'll be wide awake. She giggled. That's cheesy. I'm serious. I know. And that's why I'm not hanging up. I smiled into the darkness of my room. Good night, Emily. Good night, she murmured, and the line stayed open until sleep carried us both away. One evening, as we sat under a tree on campus, she leaned against me. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, she asked. Hopefully with a job that pays enough so my parents stop worrying. That's boring, she teased. Fine. With you, I admitted. In a house. Maybe with a dog. Definitely not a cat. She laughed. I like cats. Then maybe with a cat too. But you'll have to clean the litter. She nudged me. What about kids? I hesitated, then shrugged. If you want them, then, yeah. Her smile softened. I like that answer. My friends noticed the glow on my face. Dude, you're lovesick, Daniel said one afternoon in the cafeteria. Is that bad? I asked. Ethan leaned back in his chair. Not bad. Just, don't lose yourself completely. Ryan nodded. Exactly. Keep your guard up. People change. I frowned. Emily's not like that. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Everyone says that at first. Look, I get it, I said firmly. But she's different. She makes me feel like I matter. Daniel smiled knowingly. Then hold on to that. And I did. Every moment with her felt like proof that love was worth the risk. One night, she put her sister on the phone unexpectedly. Hey, Grace's voice chimed in. So you're the guy stealing my sister's time? I laughed nervously. Guilty? Emily giggled in the background. Grace, don't embarrass him. I'm just making sure he knows what he's gotten into, Grace teased. I do, I said, surprising even myself with how steady my voice was. And I wouldn't trade it. Emily went quiet for a moment before softly saying, see why I like him? Grace chuckled. All right, I approve. For now. Then the call ended, leaving me with a strange warmth in my chest. But even in those perfect days, little shadows appeared. "Why are you always online at midnight?" I asked once as we sat on a bench outside the library. Emily shrugged. "Just chatting." "With who?" "Friends. People from a game I play sometimes." "Oh. Anyone I know?" She looked away briefly. "Not really. Just a gamer friend. Nothing serious." I forced a smile. "Got it." But something about her quick tone lingered in my mind. Later that week, I brought it up again. "Emily, about that gamer friend." She cut me off. "Why are you suddenly so curious?" "I'm not, I don't know. You seem distracted lately." She sighed. "You're overthinking. It's just a game." "Okay," I said quickly. "Sorry." Her expression softened. "Don't worry so much. You're the one I spend my days with. Isn't that proof enough?" I nodded, though unease gnawed at the back of my mind. Still, I clung to the good moments. Like when we skipped class just to sit at a cafe, sipping coffee until the sun set. Or when she fell asleep on my shoulder in the library, and I stayed still for hours so she could rest. "You're too good to me," she whispered once. "Not true," I replied. "You're the one who changed everything for me." Her smile lit up her face, and in that instant, I believed nothing could ruin us. That night, my friends caught me smiling at my phone. "Emily again?" Ryan asked. "Who else?" I replied. Ethan leaned over. "Man, you're gone. Completely gone." Daniel grinned. "At least he's happy. That's what matters." Ryan muttered, "Just don't say we didn't warn you." I brushed it off, but their words stuck in my head. As I dropped Emily off at her hostel one evening, she lingered by the car door. "Thanks," she said softly. "For what?" "For always showing up." I met her gaze. "Always. That's not changing." She smiled faintly, but something about the way she avoided my eyes unsettled me. Walking back alone, I tried to shake off the unease. Our days were filled with laughter, calls, shared dreams. She was my first thought in the morning and my last thought at night. And yet, hidden beneath the warmth, I couldn't ignore the faint whisper in my chest, the sense that something was shifting, something I couldn't quite name. I stared at my phone, waiting for the little typing dots to appear. Nothing. Her last message had been 3 hours ago. Just a casual, "I'm tired, going to sleep early tonight" red heart. But her Instagram story told a different story. A song lyric, neon lights, and that same name again, Jason, commenting with a flame emoji. I clenched my phone. My gut twisted. I called her. It rang, then clicked to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. When she finally answered on the third attempt, her voice was sharp. "Why are you calling so late?" "You said you were going to sleep," I said, trying to keep calm. "But I just saw you online." She sighed. "I couldn't sleep." "What's the big deal?" "It's not a big deal, Em. It just feels different lately. You don't pick up. You sound distant." Her voice softened suddenly, almost too soft. "You're overthinking." "I'm just tired from work. That's all." I wanted to believe her. I really did. The next day, I asked again while we sat in her car outside my place. "Emily, who's Jason?" "He comments on everything you post." Her hands tightened on the steering wheel. "He's a cousin." "Relax." "A cousin?" I repeated. "I've never heard of him before." She rolled her eyes, forcing a laugh. "Do I have to list my entire family tree for you?" "You're being paranoid." Her tone cut me. But I laughed weakly, pretending to drop it. Inside, my chest burned. Later that night, I brought it up again over the phone. "Babe, I'm not trying to fight. I need to know. Is something going on?" Her voice went cold. "You always do this. You look for problems when there aren't any." I said he's a cousin. Why can't you just trust me? I do trust you, I whispered. That's why I'm asking. Because I need you to tell me straight. Then stop doubting me, she snapped. Silence stretched between us. I felt like I was suffocating. I started noticing everything. Her replies got shorter. Hours would pass before I got a single LOL or K. She used to send me paragraphs. Now I was lucky if I got a heart emoji. One night, I called her again. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Just lying down. But I could hear faint clicking in the background. The rhythmic tapping of a keyboard. Are you gaming? I asked. No, she said quickly. It's just, my sister typing in the other room. But Grace had told me earlier she was out with friends. I didn't call her out. I swallowed it. My chest felt heavier. Days passed, and I couldn't take it anymore. When we met at the cafe, her smile felt pasted on. Hey, she said, sitting across from me. You okay? I asked. Of course. Why wouldn't I be? Her hands fiddled with her phone, screen tilted away from me. I leaned in. Because you're here, but you're not really here. She exhaled loudly. You're making me feel like a criminal. Can we not do this? I'm not accusing you. I miss us. For a second, her eyes softened, almost guilty. Then her phone buzzed. Her face lit up. She turned it over before I could see the name. I swallowed hard. That night, I couldn't sleep. I opened her latest photo on Instagram. A casual selfie. The top comment, Jason. Looking amazing as always, smiling face with heart eyes. She'd liked it. My fingers shook as I scrolled. He was everywhere. Every post. Every story. Every little corner of her online world. I typed, deleted, typed again. Finally, I called her. Emily, we need to talk about Jason. For real. She groaned. Not this again. I told you, he's family. Family doesn't leave heart eyes on every picture. Family doesn't message you at 2 a.m. Her tone turned icy. Do you check my notifications too? What's next? Are you going to hack my phone? Why are you being like this? I asked. Just tell me the truth. The truth is, you're smothering me. That word cut deeper than a knife. I went quiet, unsure of what to say. Then, softly, I whispered, do you even want this anymore? Us? She didn't answer right away. The silence stretched so long I could hear my own heartbeat. Finally, she muttered, you're exhausting me, you know that? I felt my throat tighten. Emily. I can't talk right now. Good night. The line went dead. The next morning, I sat at the bus stop, staring at the pavement. My thoughts screamed inside me, but my mouth stayed shut. When my phone buzzed, I snatched it up. Her name. A single text. Sorry about last night. Just stress. I love you. 3 words that once made me feel invincible now felt hollow. I typed back slowly. I love you too. But for the first time, I wasn't sure if I believed it. The screen burned my eyes. I scrolled, hands trembling, stomach knotted so tight I thought I might throw up. There it was. The proof I prayed I'd never find. Her chat window. Dozens of late-night messages. Hearts. Inside jokes. Pictures. His name right there, Jason. I whispered to myself, voice shaking, no, this can't be real. But it was. Every scroll cut me deeper. Wish you were here tonight, winking face. Don't tell him, he wouldn't understand. My throat closed. My hands went ice cold. The door creaked behind me. She walked in, smiling at first, then freezing when she saw my face. What's wrong? She asked cautiously. I held up her phone. This. Emily, what the hell is this? Her eyes widened, then darted away. Why are you going through my phone? I choked. That's your first response? Not denial, not explanation, accusing me? Tears welled in her eyes instantly, like she'd practiced them. You don't trust me. You never did. You're always checking, always accusing. Emily, I said, my voice trembling, he sent you pictures. You sent him pictures back. You told him you wished you were with him. Tell me what part of that is family. She shook her head violently. It's not what it looks like. Don't you dare say that, I snapped. My chest felt like it was caving in. Don't you dare insult me with clichés. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing. You don't get it. I was lonely. You smother me 1 minute, ignore me the next. Jason just listened. My body froze. So I drove you to this? You don't understand how hard it's been, she cried louder. You make everything about you. Jason gets me. He doesn't judge me. I stared at her. The room spun. Emily. I gave you everything. My time, my love, my loyalty. And you gave it to him. Her sobs grew heavier, but there was no guilt in her tone, only defense. The door opened again. Sophia stepped in, her expression confused. What's happening? I turned to her, voice cracking. Your sister has been cheating on me. I just read everything. Sophia's face shifted, but she went straight to Emily's side. Emily, what did you do? She's lying, Emily muttered quickly. He's twisting things. Sophia turned to me, her tone sharp. Why are you always fighting? Honestly, I've watched this for months. There's no understanding between you two. The words cut deeper than the messages. Sophia. I just showed you proof. She crossed her arms. Maybe if you trusted her, she wouldn't have felt the need to talk to someone else. My heart sank. So it's my fault now? Emily grabbed her sister's hand like she'd been saved. Exactly. He never trusted me. He made me feel like I was suffocating. I laughed bitterly, but it came out broken. Trust? You killed it. You buried it the second you let him in. Sophia's glare hardened. You're dramatic. Relationships aren't perfect. People make mistakes. Mistakes? I whispered. Sending hearts and kisses every night? Sneaking around? That's not a mistake. That's a choice. Emily stepped closer, her tears streaming. I love you. I swear I do. Jason was a distraction. It meant nothing. I wanted to believe her so badly. My chest screamed for it. But the screenshots were still open behind me, undeniable. I whispered, voice trembling, if you loved me, why wasn't I enough? She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. My skin burned where her fingers brushed. You're twisting this into something bigger than it is, she insisted. Jason is just a friend who got too close. Friends don't say, I can't wait to hold you again. Friends don't hide entire conversations, I shot back. Sophia snapped, you're humiliating her. Stop dragging this out. I looked at Sophia, my jaw shaking. Do you even care what this is doing to me? Do you care that I'm breaking apart right here? Her eyes flickered, but she stayed firm. You two clearly aren't right for each other. Maybe this is the sign. I almost collapsed right there. My legs felt weak, my lungs tight. So that's it? You both justify this like it's nothing? Emily sobbed harder, muttering, I made a mistake. Please, don't leave. Please, we can fix this. I closed my eyes, hearing her voice crack, but the images replayed in my mind. Every emoji. Every photo. Every secret word meant for him, not me. I whispered, you didn't just break us, Emily. You broke me. She shook her head, stepping forward again. No, I can fix this. Don't, I said, holding up my hand. My voice was barely audible, but final. Silence hung heavy. Sophia hugged her sister as Emily collapsed into her arms, wailing. I stood there, shattered, watching the girl I loved cry, but not for me. Not for us. For herself. I stumbled out of the house, the night air cold and biting. My hands shook so badly I couldn't even light a cigarette. I sank onto the curb, burying my face in my palms. I replayed every word, every laugh we ever shared, and wondered how it all led here. The street felt endless, the world muted. My chest ached as though a knife had been driven through it. And in that silence, I realized something I wasn't ready to accept: the person I trusted most had become the person who destroyed me. Her text came at dawn: "Please, just meet me once. I'm begging you." I stared at it for an hour. My thumb hovered over delete, but never pressed. My inner voice whispered, "Don't go. Don't give her another chance to twist your heart." I muttered aloud, "I need closure." "No," the voice hissed back. "You need freedom." But my fingers betrayed me. "Fine. One last time." 5 p.m. The cafe. When I arrived, Emily was already there, hands trembling around a coffee cup. Her eyes were swollen. She looked up as if I'd saved her from drowning. "Thank you for coming," she whispered. "I didn't sit yet. Make this quick." She bit her lip. I don't know where to start." "How about the truth?" I snapped. Tears welled instantly. It was a mistake. Jason was a mistake. I was weak. I finally sat, crossing my arms. My inner voice leaned against my skull, smirking. "Here it comes. The performance." I said nothing. Emily's voice cracked. "I love you. I never stopped loving you. Please believe me." My jaw tightened. "You don't get to say that anymore." She flinched. "I can't imagine my life without you. You're everything to me." "Then why wasn't I enough?" My voice trembled. "Why did you give yourself to him?" Her hands covered her face. "I was lonely, stupid." I pulled out my phone, slid it across the table. The photos glowed like open wounds. "Look at them. Tell me it's a mistake." She peeked and went pale. Her lips parted, but no words came. My inner voice sneered, "She has nothing left to hide behind now." Finally she whispered, "I hate myself. I hate what I did." "You should," I said quietly. She reached for my hand, but I jerked back. "Don't touch me. I can change," she pleaded. "Therapy, honesty, anything. Just don't leave." My heart ached. My mind screamed. The inner voice leaned closer, "She's only scared of losing her comfort, not you." I stared at her. "You think you broke a plate and can glue it back together. But you burned it to ash." She shook her head violently. "I don't care how long it takes. I'll earn your trust again." My inner voice whispered, "She's good with words. Remember how it felt reading those chats." "I read everything," I said aloud. "The jokes, the pictures. You told him secrets you never told me." She sobbed. I was lost. I didn't know who I was anymore. "That's not an excuse," I said. "That's a confession." She reached across the table again, this time more desperate. "Hit me. Yell at me. Do anything, just don't leave." I recoiled, stunned. "You don't even hear yourself. You want me to fix the guilt you created." Silence settled between us. The cafe noise faded until it felt like we were underwater. My inner voice whispered, "End it. You're bleeding out slowly." I closed my eyes, hearing her soft sobs. My heart still loved her, stupidly, violently. But my soul felt empty. I stood. "Please," she cried. "Don't walk away. Please. I'll die without you." I shook my head. "Don't say that. You'll live. You'll move on." She slammed her fists softly on the table. "I love you." My inner voice whispered, "Love doesn't do this. Love doesn't betray." I swallowed hard. "I loved you more than myself. And you killed it." Her tears fell onto the table. "I didn't mean to. I was scared of losing you." "You lost me because you weren't scared enough," I said, voice shaking. I walked toward the door. She called after me, please, one last chance. I turned, just once. You had it. Every day I gave you was your chance. She crumpled in her chair, sobbing into her hands. Outside, the evening air felt heavy. My chest felt like a hollow drum. My phone buzzed. Her messages poured in even as I walked away. Don't leave. I'm sorry. I love you. My inner voice whispered, block her. I typed instead. I'd rather die than see you again. I hit send. The screen went dark. For the first time in months, I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel fire. I felt nothing. Nothing at all. I stood at the bus stop, staring at the road, thinking of the boy I used to be, the boy who swore never to date, never to risk heartbreak. He was gone. My inner voice softened. You're free now. I whispered back, then why do I feel dead? No answer came. Just silence, and the sound of the bus arriving, brakes hissing like a sigh. I stepped on, sat by the window, and watched the city blur into streaks of light. My phone buzzed again. I didn't look. The emptiness inside me spread like ink in water. For the first time, I wasn't angry. I was gone. The years blurred together, yet she never really left. Emily always found a way back, through a message, a mutual friend, or a memory I couldn't escape. One night, my phone buzzed again. Her name lit up the screen. Against my better judgment, I answered. Her voice was fragile. Please, just hear me out. I sighed. Emily, what's left to say? She whispered, how it started, with Jason. You deserve to know. I don't need the details, I muttered. You do, she insisted. It was just a game at first. We played online. He made me laugh when I was lonely. I didn't mean for it to become more. My chest tightened. So my biggest mistake was not being entertaining enough? She cried softly. No. Don't twist it like that. I was lost. I kept thinking I'd stop. But it snowballed. My inner voice murmured, she's explaining, not apologizing. I stayed quiet. Finally she said, I swear I've changed. Give me one last chance. Just one semester. I wanted to hang up. Instead, I heard myself say, one semester. Prove me wrong. The following weeks felt like living with a ghost of hope. Emily tried, texts, smiles, little gestures. For a while, it almost felt real. One afternoon, I sat with Ethan, Ryan, and Daniel at the campus cafe. Ryan smirked. So you're letting her back in? Brave, man. Ethan frowned. Or stupid. Daniel leaned closer. You sure this is wise? I shrugged. She begged. I figured, maybe she means it this time. Daniel's eyes narrowed. You don't sound convinced. Because I'm not, I admitted. Weeks passed. Then I noticed it again, her phone lighting up late at night. Her laughter muffled during calls. I asked gently, who are you talking to at 2 a.m.? She replied quickly, just friends. Don't worry. Friends? I pressed. What kind? She rolled her eyes. You're overthinking again. Stop being paranoid. My inner voice whispered, the same tone as before. One evening, I met her outside the library. Her phone buzzed, and I caught a glimpse, Matt Bluehart. Who's Matt? I asked. She stiffened. A classmate. Chill. Since when do classmates get heart emojis? She turned away. You're suffocating me with these questions. My stomach dropped. Later that night, I confronted her again. Emily, I want honesty. Who's Matt? She groaned. Why do you care so much? He's just helping me with assignments. With love hearts? I shot back. She snapped, you're impossible. I can't even have friends. My voice cracked. You don't get it. This isn't about friends, it's about patterns. She slammed her bag down. You'll never forgive me, will you? Silence stretched between us. My inner voice sighed, there it is. The same cycle. A week later, another name appeared. Who's Josh? I asked quietly. She crossed her arms. Stop interrogating me. Emily, answer me. Her eyes flashed. He's nobody. My voice broke. You said that about Jason once. She froze, then looked away. You'll never trust me. Maybe this is pointless. My chest felt hollow. Maybe it is. I tried to bury myself in my studies. Career fairs, internships, applications, I forced my energy elsewhere. Daniel noticed. He asked, "You're working non-stop. Everything okay?" I forced a smile. "Work doesn't cheat on you." He sighed. "So it's still happening?" "Still?" I laughed bitterly. It never stopped. Just new names, new excuses. Ethan muttered, "Then why are you holding on?" I stared at my hands. Because I'm scared of letting go. My inner voice whispered, "No, you're scared of starting over." One evening, Emily showed up uninvited. "I miss you," she whispered. "Why are you so cold now?" I stared at her. "Because I'm tired, Emily. Tired of lies." Her voice cracked. "I'm not lying this time." "Then prove it. Show me your messages." She froze, clutching her phone. "That's private." I nodded slowly. "Exactly." She cried, tried to hug me. "Don't give up on us. Please." I stepped back. "Emily. I don't feel anger anymore. And that scares me more than the betrayal." She blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean I'm done. I'm not even fighting inside anymore." Her tears fell. "You can't just walk away again." My inner voice whispered, "You already have." The semester ended. My grades soared. A professor pulled me aside. "You have talent," he said. "Ever thought about graduate programs?" For the first time in years, I felt something other than heartbreak. Hope. That night, Emily texted again. "We need to talk. I can change." I didn't reply. I whispered to myself, "I'm not even angry anymore." The emptiness was no longer pain, it was peace. I stared at my phone for a long time before pressing the call button. The number was familiar. Sophia answered after 2 rings. "Hello?" she said cautiously. "It's me," I said, my voice steady but tired. "We need to talk." There was a pause. "Hamza. I wasn't expecting this." "Why now?" "Because I'm done," I said. "And I need you to hear it from me before I disappear completely." She sighed. "Hamza, she's been lost. She regrets everything. She still talks about you." I closed my eyes. "Sophia, I'm not calling to discuss her feelings. I'm calling because I've carried this weight for too long." "What weight?" she asked quietly. "The proof," I said. "All of it. The screenshots, the chats, the late-night photos, the lies. I'm sending them to you. After that, it's not my problem anymore. You can decide whether to keep defending her or not." There was silence on the line. Finally, Sophia whispered, "You sound different." "I am different," I said. "I used to beg, to cry, to fight for her attention. Now I don't even care. I'm free." She hesitated. "Do you hate her?" "No," I said. "I don't hate her. I don't even have the energy for that anymore. Hate ties you to someone. I'm cutting the rope." I hung up before she could answer and forwarded the entire folder of proof, years of betrayal in digital form. My chest felt lighter, not heavier. My phone buzzed within minutes. "Emily. Why are you doing this?" she demanded the moment I answered. Her voice cracked with desperation. "I'm not doing anything anymore," I said. "That's the point." "You sent things to Sophia," she said, her tone sharp. "Why involve her?" "Because you always hid behind her," I said. "She defended you, made excuses for you. I wanted her to see the truth." Now she knows. Now I'm gone. You can't just erase me, she cried. We had years together. You loved me. I did, I admitted. I loved you with everything I had. I gave you chances when you didn't deserve them. I forgave you when I should have walked away. But love isn't enough when it keeps killing you. You're exaggerating, she said. No, Emily, I said firmly. I'm surviving. She broke into sobs. I swear I've changed. Jason meant nothing. The others meant nothing. It was a stupid, reckless phase. But you, her voice trembled, you were always my home. Then why did you burn it down? I asked softly. She went silent. You don't have to answer, I added. Because I've already stopped waiting for one. She whispered, so this is it? You're really ending it? This isn't an ending, I said. It's a beginning, for me. Don't say that, she begged. Don't walk away like I'm nothing. You're not nothing, I said. You're a lesson. The one that taught me self-respect, the one that showed me how much pain I can survive. You'll always be part of my story, but not my future. Her sobbing grew louder. Please, Hamza, don't leave me alone. You were never alone, I said. You always had someone. You just never chose me. I hung up. My hand shook, but not from weakness, this time it was release. I opened my contacts, scrolled to her name, and pressed block. Then Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger. Blocked. Every channel that once chained me was sealed. For the first time in years, my phone was silent. And the silence didn't feel empty. It felt like peace. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. My mind drifted to who I used to be, the boy who once swore he'd never date, the boy who broke his own promise for her smile, the boy who thought love was unshakable if you just held on tight enough. That boy died the night I saw the messages. But from his ashes, someone else was born. Someone who wasn't fueled by anger or revenge, but by survival. My inner voice whispered, calm and steady, like a friend who had been waiting all along, you did it. You chose yourself. For once, I agreed with it. The next morning, I woke up without dread. My chest didn't feel heavy. My head didn't ache from overthinking. Instead, there was a strange, fragile clarity. I poured myself a cup of tea and opened my laptop. My career plans, the goals I had abandoned while drowning in heartbreak, were still there, waiting. Time to start again, I muttered to myself. And for the first time, I believed it. Later that week, a mutual friend texted me. She's a mess. She keeps asking about you. I typed back, tell her I wish her well. But she's no longer part of my story. I didn't check for a reply. I didn't need one. Because in that moment, I knew the truth, I wasn't running away from Emily anymore, I was walking toward myself. Not revenge. Not bitterness. Just survival, peace, and the quiet strength of letting go. And that was enough.